All right, so make sure we're going to go back and review a little bit. Decimals to fractions and fractions to decimals. How do we change a decimal into a fraction? Do y'all remember? What do we do, MJ? Absolutely. So remember, this section up here at the top, this is where you're going to write what you say. Okay? If we can read these decimals the correct way, they're going to tell us what the fraction should look like. And then the only other step beyond that is just to make sure we've simplified it. Okay? So we're going to do several of these together. Somebody read number 1 for me. How do we read that as a decimal?
3 and 37.
You're right. Absolutely. So I'm going to write exactly what she just said. 3 and 37 thousandths. Now, when we look at that fraction, do I have any number that can go into both 37 and 1,000? No, because 37 is what kind of number? It is odd, but it's also prime. Very good. It is, because there's no other factors of 37, just 1 and 37. Okay? Number 2, somebody read that decimal for me.
10 and 92 hundred.
Absolutely. So 10 and 92 over 100. Can we simplify that one?
No.
Yes. How do we know? And all even numbers can be divided by 2. Absolutely. So we're going to leave our whole number the same. Do you think we could actually use a larger factor?
6. Sort of, maybe.
I don't think 6 won't go into 92. 31 won't go into 100.
4.
Yes, absolutely. Let's try 4. So somebody tell me real quick, what's 92 divided by 4? You may want to use some of your scratch paper. What'd you get? 23. Awesome. Now, think about money. If I take $1 and split it up into 4 chunks, 25. Absolutely. Okay? And at that point, I can't simplify anymore. Okay? Look at number 3. That's a hard one. Somebody read that one for me, Bryson. Well, read it like a decimal. Remember we said it's got to have a last name. 5 what? 5 tenths. Absolutely. So I'm going to write 5 tenths, which what is that simplified, everybody? Oh, that was sad. Let's try that again. 1/2. Thank you. We should all immediately know that 5 tenths is the same thing as 1/2. All right. Somebody read number 4. Somebody I haven't heard from. Alex. Absolutely. So 1 and 8 hundredths. What do you think we can do to simplify 8 hundredths?
Divided by 4.
Absolutely, I agree. Divide both by 4, so we're going to leave our whole number the same. What is 8 divided by 4?
2.
And 100 divided by 4?
25.
25. I think we're good. All right. Any questions so far? We good? All right, MJ, read number 5. 5 and 11 hundredths. So we got 5 as my whole number, 11 one hundredths. Can I simplify? No. Why not? I like it. I like the words y'all are using. You're using your vocab words. It's an odd number. Yes. We have an odd and an even. But even more importantly, 11 is prime. And that means the only factors of 11 are 1 and 11, and 1 is the only one that can go into 100, so we are done. Okay? All right, what about number 6? That's a little bit of a tricky one. Keep saying the same hands over and over. I'm going to start just calling random names. Scarlett.
8 and 435,000.
Absolutely. 8 and 435 over 1,000. Guys, don't forget, anything before your decimal, that's your whole number. So that part is not part of your fraction. Everything behind your decimal is part of your fraction. But anything in front of it is not. Can I simplify that one?
Yes.
What can I divide by?
5.
What tells me that I can divide by 5?
5.
They end in 5 and 0. All right, let's start there. So keep our whole number the same. How many times will 5 go into 435?
8.
8.
43 8 times.
Okay, and then we have 3 left over, so bring it on with the 35.
7.
So 87. Very good. What about 1,000? 200. Absolutely. Now, if I look at this, what numbers can go into 87?
9. 3.
9 can't. 3 can. Very good. I like somebody's using their 3 rule. Very good, because you can add 8 and 7 together and get 15. But 3 can't go into 200. So you think we're good? I do too. I think we're good. All right, number 7. Somebody read number 7. Bryson. Okay, 15 and 51 over 100. Can I simplify?
No.
I agree. But 51 is not prime. Be careful. It's not prime. It is odd. What number can go into 51? 3. Remember that 3 rule. That one's very helpful. All right, number 8. Aaliyah, read that one.
10 and 74.
You got it. Can we simplify? I agree. So I'll leave my whole number the same. What number can go into both 74 and 100? Ian? 2. I agree. How many times will 2 go into 74? 30.
35.
2 times 7 gives me what?
14.
So it's 37. Because remember, we got to carry a 1. So 2 times 7 would be 14. Carry my 1. 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1. That would give me 7. All right, how many times will 2 go into 100? 50. Are we done? Yep, I agree. All right, number 9. Somebody read that one for me. Miguel, read number 9.
23 and 9 10.
Awesome. 23 and 9 tenths. Can we simplify?
No.
No. How do we know we can't?
Because they're one.
Bingo, they're one number apart. Absolutely. When they're one number apart, we're done. All right, number 10. All right, Lindley.
4 and 502 1,000.
You got it. 4 and 502 thousandths. Can we simplify? We can, because they're both even. Okay? Let's leave our whole number the same. So 2 will go into 5 how many times? 2 times. We have 1 left over, so that would be a 10. 2 goes into 10 5 times. And 2 goes into 2 1 time. Okay? What about 1,000 divided by 2? 500. Okay? Think we're good? I agree. All right, any questions so far on this first section? Okay, you're writing what you say, and then you're just simplifying. All right? So that leaves 10 of those for you to do for homework. Let's look at the bottom section. I want to do some of those with you as well. So now we're going to do the other direction. We're going to now change a fraction to a decimal. How do I change a fraction to a decimal? What do I do? Anybody?
You put that number in the
So what are you doing when you do that?
You divide it.
You're dividing, okay? So here's our big thing, guys. We divide. And remember, it's always numerator divided by denominator, okay? So your top number is always in the house. I like to think of him as some, like, big rock star. Have you ever heard, like, people go like, oh, so-and-so's in the house? Yeah, okay, so numerator, he's this big, like, rock star. So he walks down and they're like, oh, numerator's in the house. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Number 21. Let's do this one. So we're dividing. And again, we're starting numerator first. So 49 divided by 25. Now, this looks a little different from what we've done in the past. What kind of fraction is that? Somebody said it? Improper. So guys, remember, if we have an improper fraction, if I were to change that to a mixed number, I would have a whole number and a fraction. So with this one, when I divide, guess what I'm going to have? A whole number and a decimal. Okay? So it's all right that you're also going to have a whole number because that one is an improper fraction. Okay? Can 25 go into 49?
Yes.
How many times? One time.
2 times.
2 would give us 50. That'd be way too much. So what would we have left over? 24. We're going to bring a 0 down. All right. Thinking quarters. How many quarters or how many 25s can go into 240?
1. Oh, no. No, wait.
9. Very good. Yeah, 9. And that would give us 225. Think about it, because 9 quarters, that would be $2.25, which is 225 cents. All right, so if I subtract here, I've got to borrow. Whoops, make that a 10. What do I have left over? 15. I'm going to bring my last 0 down. Can 25 go into 150?
Yes.
How many times?
10? 3.
Think about money. Think about quarters. 4 quarters make a dollar. If I've got $1.50, 6 quarters. Yep. So that gives me 150. Have nothing left over. What do we call those decimals where we have nothing left over? Do you remember? It ends. It doesn't repeat. Terminating. Absolutely. Okay, so that is a terminating decimal. All right, so for 49 over 25, we would have 1 96 hundredths. Okay, let's look at number 22 real quick. 18 over 20. Okay, so we're going to do 18 divided by 20. Add my decimal and zeros. How many times will 20 go into 180? That will give you 120. 9 times. Because look, guys, 9 times 2 is 18, and then 9 times 0 is 0. So I have nothing left over. Of course, bring a 0 down, have nothing left over. So basically, my answer becomes what? 9/10. Now, let me show you something else. Can I take 18 over 20 and simplify it? How can I simplify it?
Divide by 2.
I can. So if I divide 20 by 2, I get 10. If I divide 18 by 2, I get... Look at that. Is that the same thing? Absolutely. Again, if you can make your decimal a 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, so forth, then you're just writing, again, what you say. But that only works when you can make your decimal 10, 100, or 1,000. All right, let's look at number 23. So we've got 6 and 7 over 25. We have a whole number. Okay, we're going to put him over here in timeout. We don't need him right now. Oh, yeah. 7 divided by 25. Decimal and zeros. Can 25 go into 70?
Yes.
How many times?
2.
2 times. That gives me 50. So what would I have left over? 20. Bring my 0 down. 25 goes into 200.
8.
8 times. And again, terminating decimal. So we got to go back up here and add it to our whole number. Look what else could have happened. If I have 7 over 25, do I have a way to make 25 a 10, 100, or 1,000? What could I turn it into? 100. How do I turn it into 100? Times what?
Times 4.
Times 4. Can I do the same thing to the top? What's 7 times 4?
28.
28 hundredths? You're going to get the same thing. Guys, this is where I want you to understand. They are all showing the same thing. Decimals, fractions. Okay? They both show the exact same thing. You're just writing it in a different way. Okay? All right, I got 2 more I want to do with you. Let's do number 24. We've got 7 eighths. We don't have a whole number, so we're going to do 7 divided by 8. Add my decimal and zeros. How many times will 8 go into 70?
8.
8? 8 times 8 is?
64.
Okay, what do I have left over? 6. Bring my 0 down. 8 will go into 60 how many times? 7. 7 times 8 is what? 56. What will I have left over? 4. I'm going to bring one more 0 down. 8 goes into 40 how many times? 5. It's not repeating. This one's actually a terminating. It ends. Okay? We only had to go one more 0, and then we get to the point. We don't have anything left over. So if I have 7 8s, that's going to be the same thing as 875,000. Anybody see a shortcut we could do on number 25? Nine over 50. What could we do? Well, if I multiply by 5, I got 250. That will give me 150. What happens if I multiply by 2?
You get 18 over 100.
Oh. So my denominator becomes 100. Numerator becomes 18. How do I write 18 hundredths as a decimal?
0 and
18 hundredths. So there's your little shortcut on that. And remember, if you can make your denominator a 10, a 100, or 1,000. And guys, if this part is confusing you, you can always go back. Again, this will always work. Okay? 50 goes into 90 how many times? One time. I have 40 left over. Bring a 0 down. 50 goes into 400 how many times?
8.
8 times. I have nothing left over. See how you're getting the same answer? Either way will work. If you divide every single time, it will work every single time. Okay, the only time this will work is when you can make your denominator 10, 100, or 1,000. Okay? Any questions on these so far? You guys were awesome.